Hello, friends. Today we look back at one of the most popular films ever made about ancient Rome, Gladiator. So let's get to it. So first up, here are the key points about this epic movie. But if you don't want any spoilers, skip to the next section. So when General Maximus Decimus Meridius learns that his beloved wife and child have been murdered by the spoiled and power-hungry heir to the Roman Empire, Commodus, he plots his revenge. After Maximus is betrayed by Commodus, he is sentenced to death, but is saved at the last moment and sold into slavery. Now training to become a fierce gladiator, Maximus rises to fame and power and eventually confronts Commodus in the very same arena where his life was almost taken. There he slays the emperor and avenges his family's honor before dying from his own wounds. And in the end, there's a message of hope that the Roman Republic will rise again. And now on to our list. At No. 1. Here are the main characters. First up, we have Maximus, played by Russell Crowe, the fictional hero of the movie. He is the general of the Roman army under Emperor Marcus Aurelius. When Commodus takes over, Maximus becomes a slave and gladiator, but eventually he earns freedom and vengeance. Next, we meet Commodus, played by Joaquin Phoenix, the main villain of the film. He is the spoiled son of the emperor who murders his father and becomes emperor himself. Then Lucilla, played by Connie Nielsen, she is Commodus' sister and former lover of Maximus. She is torn between her love for Maximus and her loyalty to her brother. At No. 3, we have Marcus Aurelius, played by Richard Harris, the wise philosopher king of Rome. He is the father of Camillus and husband to Faustina. Then Proximo, played by Oliver Reed. He is a retired gladiator who now trains new fighters. One of the most interesting facts about this character is that, while filming, the actor Oliver Reed passed away and some of his scenes had to be digitally completed. At No. 4, let's talk about historical accuracy. First off, who was the real Marcus Aurelius? Well, he was the emperor of Rome from 161 to 180 AD, so he ruled during the 2nd century, just like in the movie. In real life, he was known as a philosopher king, famous for his personal reflection book, Meditations. He died in 180 AD during a military campaign along the Danube. So yes, he did die outside the city walls, but that part is different from the movie. Did Commodus really become emperor? Yes, he did. After his father's death, Commodus became emperor. According to historical accounts, he enjoyed chariot racing and the gladiator games so much that he participated himself. So it's true that he fought in the arena, but not for fun like in the movie. It's most likely because of his status as emperor. Are the gladiator fights historically accurate? Well, yes. The fights in the Roman arenas are depicted quite well in the movie. So no major inaccuracies there. Who is Maximus? Well, he is a fictional character created especially for the movie. But he seems to be inspired by several Roman generals, perhaps most notably Titus Flavius, Claudius, a Roman emperor from the 1st century. He too was celebrated as a great general and a good emperor. So Maximus could be a mix of different historical figures, plus some artistic license. What about the ending of the movie? Well, that is definitely not true. Rome didn't become a republic again until about 400 years later. At No. 5, let's talk about production. First up, who directed the movie? It was Ridley Scott, the director behind many famous science videos like Alien, Blade Runner, and more recently, All About Egypt. And speaking of which, there's a scene in Gladiator where Russell Crowe's character watches the building of the Colosseum. And it's been suggested that this scene was actually inspired by Ridley Scott's visit to Egypt and seeing how the pyramids were built. How was the movie received?
Ow.
Well, it got very good reviews. In fact, it became a worldwide phenomenon. Some critics said that the movie's success helped to revitalize interest in ancient epics. And in terms of awards, well, Gladiator won 5 Academy Awards in 2001, including Best Picture and Best Actor for Russell Crowe. This was his first Oscar. Other notable awards include Best Costume Design, Best Sound, and Best Visual Effects. In terms of filming locations, well, it mainly took place in Malta, Morocco, and the United Kingdom. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about ancient Rome or other topics, remember to subscribe at No. 6. Let's talk about themes. One of the main themes in Gladiator is honor. For example, Maximus is motivated by his desire to avenge the honor of his family, who was murdered by Commodus. Another theme is revenge. Throughout the movie, Maximus seeks revenge against Commodus for his betrayal and for killing his family. Then there's the idea of justice. Maximus's quest for revenge can also be seen as a quest for justice. In a corrupt empire where the law doesn't protect the innocent, justice must be served outside the law. There's also the theme of freedom versus slavery. Maximus is a free man who becomes a slave against his will. His journey to regain his freedom is a central part of the plot. Speaking of Maximus, there's a theme about virtue versus vice. Maximus represents virtue and honor, while Commodus embodies vice and corruption. Their conflict highlights the struggle between good and evil. Then the setting of the movie itself, the Roman Empire, is also a character in the movie. Rome is portrayed as a great but decaying empire. At number 7, let's talk about the legacy of the movie. The influence of Gladiator is huge. It reignited the interest in Roman history and film and pop culture. It inspired TV shows like Spartacus, Rome, and Vikings, as well as video games, books, and more. And of course, it gave us some famous lines, one of which is, "Are you not entertained?" uttered by Russell Crowe's character. And another iconic line is, "What we do in life echoes in eternity." That's from the movie, but it's actually a quote by the philosopher Epicurus. So even though he lived in ancient Greece, he still has fans today. And finally, at no. 8, let's talk about the sequel. There is a Gladiator sequel in the works. The original director, Ridley Scott, is set to direct the sequel as well. And according to reports, the new movie will focus on Lucius, the son of Lucilla, who was played by Connie Nielsen in the original film. Not much is known about the plot yet, but we do have some cast members, including Paul Mescal, Denzel Washington, Pedro Pascal, and others. So the movie is scheduled to be released in 2024 or 2025. So stay tuned. So those are our top 8 facts about Gladiator. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. Remember to subscribe and comment below. What's your favorite scene from Gladiator? Also check out these related videos. Thanks for watching.